So now that we've talked about your home screen and we've talked about playlists and channels, we're going to talk about creating your own videos and uploading them and editing them and all that stuff. This is probably the least used part of YouTube by teachers because most teachers, I think, find this step intimidating and think they can't possibly make their own videos or it's too hard or would take such specialized knowledge that they don't know how to do it. You're going to see that making your own videos and uploading them is really easy. I'm going to show you a couple of basic editing steps, but you don't even need to do most of that stuff. So in literally minutes, you could have your own video up on YouTube that you could then use for your classes. Now, I will say that the easiest way for you to do this is with some kind of device of your own, like a smartphone or an iPad or an Android tablet, something like that. I'm going to be using my iPhone, and to actually make the video, I just use the camera app that comes on the phone itself, shoot a video, reverse the camera so it's taping myself and I can see the screen at the same time. One tip when you're taping a video is hold your camera like this, not like this. It feels easier in your hand because you're used to holding your phone like this, but remember, this is not the way that computer screens are set up. Computer screens are set up this way. So shoot your video and hold your camera this way. YouTube will automatically, when you upload it, it'll automatically orient it the right way, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, once you've shot the video on the camera app, and then you just need to go to, in the case of an Android phone, probably YouTube I think is already installed. If you have an iPhone, just go to the App Store and find the YouTube app and install that on your phone or your iPad. And then you'll see here I have my iPhone. I've gone ahead and I've installed the app, and right down there at the bottom of the home screen you'll see there's a little red circle with an arrow, and I'm logged in on my district account, and that little circle, when I push it excuse me, is to upload a video. And what happens when I push that button is this. It takes a look at my camera roll. I already gave the app permission and said it could go ahead and look at my camera roll. Takes a look at my camera roll, sees whatever videos are there. I just pick the video that I want to upload. Okay, and now here I could do some basic editing of it. I could trim it, I could adjust some of the coloration and things like that. I'm really not going to do any of that yet though, because anything that I could edit here, I'm also able to edit once the video is uploaded into YouTube, and me personally, I find it a lot easier to do that with a keyboard and a mouse on a bigger screen than on this. So I would just go ahead and click next and then give my video a name so that it knows what to call it when it uploads it, and then that's it. So I'm going to pause for a second while I upload that video and let it process. It's probably going to take just a couple minutes to do that because this is just a 40-second video, so it won't take long, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here we are. We have the video. It's been uploaded. I logged into my YouTube account. I came to my channel, and you'll see that right there is the video that I uploaded. I could also always find it by going to my videos list. Okay, and then once I've got that video in here, there are I mentioned the editing steps that we could do. Now, you don't need to do any of this, but there are a couple things in here that I would highly recommend that you do. So let me open the video, and let me pause that so we don't have to listen to me in stereo. And now scroll down a little bit. If this was just somebody else's video that I was watching, this bar right here wouldn't be here, but because this is my video, these are the tools that I have access to. And so the first place that we want to start is right here where it says Info and Settings. So I'm going to click on that. And once it loads up, the first thing you're going to see is a General tab. And this is where I could change the title of it anytime I want to. I'd come back in. I could add a description to the video if I want. If I had accidentally made it private, I could turn it back to public or unlisted or whatever I wanted to do. I'm not going to make any changes there though. And then I'm going to move over here to where it says Advanced Settings. This is the one that, as I said, I highly recommend you do. And in fact, I came in here already and was looking around and did this. By default, this top box is going to be checked. Okay, and this says allow comments. Now, anybody who has spent any kind of time on YouTube outside of school, especially where you're not affected by our district's filters, know that YouTube, while it can be a phenomenal teaching tool, YouTube can also be a cesspit of humanity. And where that is most evident is in the comment sections of many, many videos. So as a teacher, I can control the content of the video I produce. So I know that the video that I'm putting out there is appropriate for my students. But what I can't control, if I allow them to do it, what I can't control is the content of the comments. So the safest, best thing that you can possibly do as a teacher is when you upload your videos, come in here to that edit the info settings and go to the advanced settings and uncheck that box. Say that you do not want to allow comments. Okay. The other thing that you probably will want to do here is you might want to click on the today button so you can add a date so you remember when you recorded this video, and set a language. It's going to have it won't have English automatically selected, and in a second you'll see why it would be important to do that. Okay. The other thing is you can also change the category. By default, at least in my case, all of the videos that I upload come up as comedy. Even though when I'm uploading them, I tell them it's education. So still just come in here and change that to education. So now I can click Save Settings and scroll back up. Next tab over is Enhancements. And I will be honest, most of the time, I don't do anything with this tab at all. If I were shooting outside or I were shooting in a room that had a really bright light source, so maybe the white balance is off, I might come in here and use auto fix, and you'll see here that they'll show you the original and a preview. You can also manually adjust any of these settings if you want to. Again, it's not something I usually do. You can stabilize the video, so if this was handheld and you're walking, you could use this to get rid of some of those shaky motions, as it says there. Over to the audio tab. If this was a video that did not have any kind of narration or anybody talking in it, maybe I might want to add in a bed layer of music. I can come to the audio tab, and you'll see that by default it's showing me the top tracks, but there are a whole bunch of genres I can pick from. And if I go down to the search box, you can see there that it says they have 150,000 plus total tracks that you can use in your videos. So you don't need to worry about importing music. You can come right in here and grab a song to include. Annotations will let you put in those, I'm sure you've all seen them in YouTube videos where like a box pops up, like a speech bubble or something. There are some uses for that are kind of nice. One of the things that you can do with annotations is link to another video. So for instance, let's say I was doing a video on a certain type of math equation, and I mentioned an earlier video that I had done with a skill that this was building on. I might throw up a little box here that just showed up for 10 seconds in the video or whatever that had a link to that video. So if students wanted to, they could click on that and go back and watch that earlier link too. Cards is kind of similar, but it's something that we'll hold off on for another time. Let me go over here to subtitles and closed caption. Now remember I said there was a reason why you'd want to pick English. Well, this is the reason. When you set English as the default language or the language for your video, it puts your video in the queue to have YouTube create closed caption subtitles for you. So what'll happen, and I've seen this take anywhere from half an hour to 3 days sometimes. What'll happen is all of a sudden, like, your video will have no subtitles, no subtitles, no subtitles, and then all of a sudden there will be subtitles for it. And sometimes it works really well, and sometimes the subtitles, well, if you've ever used Siri on your iPhone, for instance, to search for or do a search or send a text message, you know that sometimes that voice recognition is not so great. So what you can do though is you can come back in here and you can edit the subtitles that have been added to your video, so you can fix those things if you want to. And again, that might be important because especially in an education setting, as you'll see in another part of the newsletter that this video is attached to, those subtitles can come in really handy in a classroom and can be really helpful to some of our students or many of our students. So really, that's about it for the editing piece. Once I've got all my stuff done, then I can come back out here to the main video screen, and let me hit pause again. And I'm ready to use this video. Now, I could add this video to a playlist, and again, you can refer to the previous video for that. So for instance, if I was going to be out for a few days in a row for some reason, I might want to put a playlist of short videos together of myself explaining to class what they were going to be doing. So rather than having to write out those sub plans or have a sub try to explain it, I could have a playlist of videos ready telling the kids, here's what you're going to be doing today. The other thing I can do is I can hit the share button and I can get a URL. So here's the address of this video. So again, I could put this video address in a Google Classroom assignment, Edmodo. I could send it out via Remind. I could put it on my own website if I wanted to, but there are a lot of ways that I could share that video. Now, just a couple of last quick tips for you as you're getting started doing this if you're new to making your own videos. First is don't expect perfection. Have a plan. Don't just hit record and just see what happens. Think about ahead of time what you want to put in your video. But also the other side of that coin is don't expect perfection. You're not putting together something that you're going to submit for review for the Academy for an Oscar. So don't expect this to be something that's perfect. You are going to have a second where you might forget something you're going to say. You might have a couple of extra ums in there or something. It's okay. All right. It's just a video you're using with your classes. The other thing that I'll say is, and this is something that you do get over more as time goes by, try not to be very self-conscious about how you look or how you sound, especially. I was at a conference a while ago, and a guy doing a YouTube seminar said something that made a lot of sense, which is that is the way you look, that is the way you sound. All the rest of us are used to that already, so get over yourself. Which makes a lot of sense. So don't get so caught up in all that stuff. Just get your video taped, get it out there, go ahead and use it, and I think you'll probably find that this will be something that'll save you some time, will make things a lot easier, and again, has a lot of uses for you. So hopefully you'll give making your own YouTube video a try.